good afternoon, everyone. I know it's getting to that time of the day when you're a little hungry, a little tired, so grab a drink. We're about to start our talk about advancing the fuel cell market using optimized solenoid valves, and it's actually really interesting. So the company here is Steiger, and we'll be speaking to Mr. Marc Steiger, the managing partner, and Sébastien Soubaigné, the business development and marketing manager. So please welcome them on stage. Thank you for being here, and I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
So let's get started. Steiger's been in business for over 40 years. Could you tell us a little bit about the company and sort of an overview of your products?
Yes, the company, as you said, it started 40 years ago. It was actually founded by my dad. It started off with one single valve that he invented. Meanwhile, we have 200 employees in the area of Stuttgart. Our customers are spread all over the world. And the business focus is really customized solenoid valves and micro solenoid valves. And we are talking about small valves about that size here. And the valves are characterized for their really long lifetime they can stand, and high speed and really high precision.
So I believe you've bought what the market usually sells. Just to show everyone, there's a huge difference between what Steiger's been able to achieve in terms of valve size in comparison to what the market has. And what would you say percentage-wise is the reduction in size that you've been able to achieve for similar valves?
Well, the size always depends on the application, but especially with the very small valves, we open the doors to really mobile application where you don't have space, where you need really lightweight components, and that's what we can actually realize with these really small valves.
And just to let you know, if you have any questions, this is a public forum, so please raise your hands and I'll bring the mic out to you. We're at the Hydrogen Fuel Cells and Batteries conference, and I know that Steiger's had products in health, automotive, pneumatics, water, but now fuel cells. And in the last 5 years, you've been focusing on fuel cells. So could you tell us what made you think about it and consider it?
Yeah, as Marc said, we make customized solution, and some customers come and say, "Oh, we have developed some some systems with standard valves, and now we need something better, something specific to reach some specific performance on lifetime, reliability, suitable, and so on." And that's why we started to develop with the customer some specific product in automobile industry, in stationary application, portable application. And we are very deep in integration. I mean, we make some complete, full integrated system with several valves, with sensor, and we test everything by us, and sell only good product to the customer.
And also, people don't realize the importance of valves, but when you have hydrogen pumping into your fuel cell, at some point you want it to shut off. And is that a challenge that you constantly face, that your customers think about it and go, "Oh my gosh, I needed to do this"?
Yeah, this is the problem. I mean, the valves is only a component, you know, and the development team don't think about the valves at the beginning of the project. And if they thought about the valve, we could reduce the time to market significantly, because we need to develop a valve, we can need 2-3 years, and it could be a problem. I mean, if we are near to the market launch, and we said to the customer, we need 3 years to develop your valves, and it's a challenge for everybody.
Maybe we can add 2 issues related to the fuel cell business. The valves have, on one side, they're a safety function. As you said before, it is in order to shut off the whole system in an emergency case. And on the other hand, it has a critical influence on the regulation of the whole system. So on the system performance itself. The more precise the valve is, the more precise you can control the whole fuel cell system. And also the leakage is a very critical feature of the valve. If you have of course you need a low leakage in order to get still good results for controlling the whole systems, but also not to empty your fuel tank over the time when you're not using the system. So while running the system and also in standby mode, you need to have really perfect or basically zero leakage rates. And that's also a feature that not many valves, or where you can differ the quality of different valves.
Yeah, and also the safety regulations that are involved with it, right? Because, again, like I said, you don't want something blowing up on you.
That's really good.
One thing I'd like to point out is that Steiger is one of the companies, their first product, starting from that, everything has been customized. So even the first product you designed was fully customized for the client's needs.
That's true. In fact, we talk about customizing all the time, but of course we have some kind of a basic technology that we can adapt to customer requirements. So we don't always start to invent the wheel from zero. It's depending on customer requirements. It takes just some days to adapt something. Of course, sometimes it takes several years to start serial production. Depending, especially also not only on the design or the new requirements of the design, but also for the validation of the product. And then again, safety issues. And safety requirements take really long time to validate such a product, to be really sure that it runs and actually doesn't blow up anything at the end.
Safety is key. But a lot of people will also say that it's a valve. You know, why do I need to come to you? I can just get it from anyone else. Yeah. So can we talk a little bit, because I know you have some unique value propositions. So can we talk a little bit about why Steiger?
Yeah. Well, actually, customers always say that Steiger company is really flexible when it comes to, and also reactive, when it comes to really understand the customer needs and be not only able, but also being willing to adapt products to what the customer requires. Because what we can see in the market is that the standard products, they have reached their limits. So customers need to go beyond in order to separate themselves with their systems from competitors. And therefore, if everybody is using the same standard components, then at the end there's the same standard solution for everyone. So it's one chance to separate themselves technologically from competitors and also to get a really perfectly adapted integrated system.
And also in terms of reliability and lifetime, I know you've achieved some phenomenal numbers. You said there was a customer that came and told you how many cycles has one of their valves been running for?
1.8 billion.
1.8 billion.
Billion, yeah, cycles.
So essentially, are you working yourself out of a business because you make such good things, people don't need to replace them for a long time?
Could be a problem.
Yeah, that's indeed an issue. But of course, there are also some applications where these valves they run 24 hours, 24/7, and so you can. And these 2 billions, they are you can reach them after 1 year already. Yeah. And so still, depending on the application, it's still a replacement part after sometimes.
It's still a good challenge to have.
Certainly, yeah.
So I also know we've got about a little bit of time left. So if anyone has questions, please put your hand up. But I was really interested in this. You've worked on some extremely unique projects. Could you tell us a little bit about the projects that you've been involved in recently?
I think what's also important or interesting is, as you indicated, space station projects where the valves, or even on satellite systems in order to control the position of the satellite. This is something where you cannot send somebody up to exchange a valve. It's not working anymore. It's impossible. So you need to have absolutely reliable components up there. And also in these extreme conditions, one side you have plus 100 degrees, on the other side you have minus 100 degrees, and still the entire system, because we have mechanical parts moving inside a valve, that's what actually makes it so challenging. And these moving parts, they still need to operate in any kind of extreme conditions. And temperature is one of these extremes. And still, these valves, because of the design of the technology design, they're still, they're built for extreme conditions. Put it in this way.
And so this is the International Space Station where you have some of your products deployed. That must be a really proud feeling to know that it's up there in space. Ever consider taking a moonwalk and just checking out the productivity of your products?
Why not? Huh?
One of these days.
Yeah, we could actually use oxygen masks where also our valves are used on the moon, you know.
Exactly. In terms of your customer base, are you mostly focused in the EU, or are you not just a global company or a galaxy company by the sounds of it?
We are not a galaxy company, but we have customers all around the world. We provide valves to New Zealand, for example, to Australia, for medical application. In Europe, of course. We are trying to make also business in US, and it's quite international. Yeah.
And in terms of compatibility, I think, because again, bringing it back to fuel cells, people will come and ask you the question of, well, can it withstand any sort of fuel? Can it withstand different temperatures? Yeah. So what would you like to say about that?
This is what we mean with customized solution. We will choose the perfect material to be compatible with the fuel or with the medium we have to control. That means if we need compatibility with oxygen, we will make all the tests. Or if we need compatibility with fuel, with diesel, with methane or natural gas, or hydrogen, we will choose the material, the needed material. Okay. To answer, to achieve the requirement. Okay. This is really our business and our flexibility. Our design permit to choose and change very quickly the material according to the specification.
Excellent. And I'd just like to ask if there's any further questions, or I can continue talking to them and asking lots of questions myself because I'm very interested. And if they're not, then I think I would like you to summarize that in terms of fuel cells and the solutions that you have, what's on offer, and whether it's the weight, the efficiencies, and also where can they come see you?
Yeah, I think it's important to memorize that Steiger is the perfect partner from the very first idea, and as we mentioned before, it's really important that customers come as early as possible to us because we have such a broad and long-term experience in fluid technology, so we can consult and most in the cases find much simpler solutions than the customer was initially thinking about, and then which reduces cost and time. So from the very first idea up to the serial production, we supply the whole solution out of one hand. So it's customers are always amazed when they visit our facilities and they see these testing devices that we engineered ourselves, and there's so much technology even in these testing devices that we have, even much more than sometimes in the single valve. But it's required. It's required to guarantee the quality and to make sure these valves withstand the requirements that customers ask for.
Perhaps another important point, we are not only developing the valves, but we also produce the valves. That means the customer is on the safe side all around project. Yeah. I mean, we will develop the valves, validate it with him, and produce it. And if necessary, we'll also produce and design the production line to reach competitive price. We'll make the full automation to get the most effective solution, optimized solution, economically and technically.
So it's a customized solution that you can bring to scale quickly, which is also optimized for their results. Yeah. And I think a lot of times people forget, we need to end quickly, but a lot of times people forget that you're also involved in the automotive industry, and you have so much experience that now going into green cars, it'll be a wealth of knowledge that you bring to that side of the industry. And essentially, you've had the experience with traditional cars, and you'd be at the forefront of helping people develop these new cars.
Yeah, we're actually a developing partner for the leading car manufacturers for the fuel cell systems, for the valves inside the fuel cell systems, for many years meanwhile. So we don't only understand the requirement for the technical requirements for the fuel cell itself, but also the general standards that are applied in the automotive sector.
Yeah.
So we speak their language basically. And what's also important is probably that talking about quantities and mass production, we can cover, we cover from one single part over 10,000 per year up to 1 million parts per year. That's no problem for us. And actually, it's part of our daily business.
Right. Well, gentlemen, it's been great talking to you. If you have any further questions, I would recommend going on to booth E69. It's just over there, and having a conversation in person. Thank you for being a great audience, and thank you so much for talking with us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And don't go away. There's a chat coming up with Marika Ryald about from the European Hydrogen Association. So that's coming up in a couple of minutes.